Ooh, gotta make sure I actually have microphone audio. Make sure I actually have. And there we go. I think that's all set up now. Finally. Hello, everyone who was listening to me just talk about that. Sunday stream, as always. I should probably advertise that a little bit more in one of my videos, but I'll keep it for all the OGs in a way, I suppose, who rock around. But as always, got to start the stream with seeing if I won the lottery for this week. Get the extra million gil. Oh, not gil, the other one. Mandeville tokens. I could go with the other one. Ah, this isn't possible. Oh, can I? Nah. Try to go for either the 789 or the other one, the 123. Obviously, you want 123 because huge money. Ooh, yep, got that one. Nah, this is why you just don't gamble. It's a losing game. It's always going to be a losing game. And as much as I wish, it was a lot easier to farm that. In hindsight, I really wish I'd come and done. Got a lot more of the Mandeville tokens during the. There was some special event they did ages ago for it. It wasn't ages ago, obviously. Ages ago and relative to my playing Final Fantasy. But the one where you get the Vexed emote and whatnot. And after I do Machanist, I don't know whether or not I'll do it on stream. Because healing is so much more difficult in a way. But I'd love to do an astrologer because that star aesthetic, oh, so cool. Let's see. Oh fuck! Second prize. Oh, that's good. That is very good. And then the consolation prizes. So close. So close. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I was saying don't gamble before. Maybe it's not as bad as you thought it was. You know, don't gamble or gamble responsibly. Don't want to be caught up on something like that. You know, I was lucky that I actually had the tokens for the car from the Final Fantasy 15 crossover as well, because I didn't realize that. I didn't realize until I actually came and decided to have a look that that's what you needed to have. Always good fun. Let's go. I reckon I'll do the main scenario now because it normally takes about half an hour for people to really arrive, so I'll get that one out of the way because that's normally so much more. What would be the term? Time intensive, maybe. Which I mean, yeah, it's either Praetorian or the other one. Of course, it's going to be super bloody slow. At least, we're still thinking Moogle tombstones, aren't we? Yeah. Might try and snag a few more mounts that I've got the Inferno jacket. Ooh. There might be a mark over here. That could be interesting to go kill. Because I assume that the yelling function actually does. Yeah, there's other people here. Oh, that's a cool mount. I would not be surprised if that was a store mount, but I love looking at the Magitech ones. They are super bloody cool. The Mudman. Oh, fuck. Right, take that back. Get the emotes off the keyboard. Oh, he's level 80, so... Oh! God damn! I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. 'Cause that was... I mean, yeah, to be fair, he's level 80 and clearly a super powerful boss. Oh. Some absolute legend. This is... Honestly, this is one of the reasons I love this community. But for this one, I reckon I'm gonna go Dark Knight. Like, I'm still in the queue for Machanist. I'll still get all the XP on him, but clearly I need to have a little bit more survivability, and Dark Knight is the secret main. And the reason it's a secret is because playing Aura, and that's about as edgy a combination as you get. And oh, I need to come around to actually getting all the flyings, because I got it in Ilmeg. Because it's the fairies. And all the fairy, like, the fairy quests are huge, huge experience. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll get flying there first. Whereas these other zones I haven't sort of needed to yet. But I should probably, like, there are just so many things to try and get around to doing before Endwalker. Just such an absolute ton. Like, I think one of the things I need to try and do is hopefully the gear on the Machanist will carry me. But, oh. But yeah, so hopefully the Machinist will carry me, but I still need to do coils. Like, I got up to... I can't remember which one it was, but there's like an instant kill mechanic, and I just don't have the damage on my Dark Knight to kill it. Which is, it sucks, frankly. Because obviously you want to... Like, I think I remember seeing a few videos, or it was like, just straight up them recommending that, hey, if you're coming into Endwalker, this is going to be very important lore for you to know. I'm actually really liking Machanist, and welcome to the stream, Molly. Yeah, I really appreciate the overcharge sort of combo as well. They are typically just such a nice class to play. Are you a Machinist main yourself? So I'll probably go back to the fairy quests. Because I don't have the flying. I clearly can't keep up just yet. And that's just me being lazy, unfortunately. Oh, this turtle has always been an absolute meme. And I'm so glad they have these Beast Tribe quests giving just so much XP. Although it's only the fairies, if I remember reading, that are the actual combat classes. If I remember... Turtle. Hey, MG. That reminds me, I need to go do the turtle, like, the turtle quests after this. Because for some reason I just settled on them. These guys and the pixies. Oh, yeah, Machinist is a wonderful amount of fun. But I think the annoying thing is, for Summoner, is I don't know if you've seen the changes they're making for Endwalker. They look absolutely mental. Like, you're summoning primals at max level for Summoner now, which is... Like, that just sounds really, really cool. Makes me want to go and check one of those out, because if I remember... Where are we? Classes and jobs... They come off the Arcanist, I want to say. I can't 100% remember. Like, it's one of those... Final Fantasy XIV is just so massive. It's... Actually learning everything is, it's a challenge. It's going to be a challenge. Oh, it does look super... I think the biggest annoyance for Summoner is just their gear. And most of their gear looks really, really cool. It's just the hat, like the helmet, that always gets me. It's just such a... It's just a strange piece of gear. I don't know if there's any cultural equivalences anywhere of that sort of horn-esque, unicorn-esque sort of headpiece. And I mean, there might be. I'd like to think I'm quite worldly, but there's only a finite amount anyone can know. So it's entirely possible. But I think one thing you can definitely say for the Machanist is that their job gear is absolutely beautiful. But then again, most of the sets for most of the classes are pretty cool. Although then again, the Shadowbringers, Dark Knight, everything's really cool except for the helmet, which... maybe I just have a problem with headgear, honestly. Because it has that Dark Knight one has that old, it's like the Viking style of eye holes for it, but it looks strange. Are you making Machanist your main Molly? Because, yeah, you gotta make sure you've got your pick nice and ready for Endwalker. And thankfully we all have a little bit more time for it now. But because personally Dark Knight is my personal main. And the reason I used to be a bunny girl, one of the Vieras. But then I couldn't have there was a lot of headpieces that didn't match. And then I saw the, I can't remember his name, but the Aura for the Dark Knight quest and was like, oh, I'm sold. Oh, yeah. Nah, thankfully it's not super long. Oh, I'm trying to remember. I only finished it a few weeks ago myself. But yeah, it's not too far. It ends very, very, very cool, as you'd expect. At this point, after A Realm Reborn, it just rolls on. Super cool. It's super cool. I'm incredibly impressed because I imagine you're very, very similar, or you might be very similar if you've joined the game recently. That you sort of were one of the WoW refugees. And if you're not, I'd actually really like to hear sort of how you came to Final Fantasy XIV, because it was like, that really seems to have been the big wave. Oh yeah, especially in comparison to Heavenswood. AR just, drags on by comparison. Which is a damn shame. Like, trying to convince other friends to get in, but it's like, oh, you have to play 50 hours for it to get good. It's like, I'd rather not invest that time. Oh, really? I've actually heard most people who have talked about Final Fantasy XIV as their first MMO as the AR is very good because it really helps you learn all of the sort of RPG mechanics and how an MMO actually functions. Because did you think it was sort of a drag when you were actually going through it, or is it one of those sort of in hindsight kind of deals? Because I know a lot of people in the comments, because I did one of my videos is on that most of the people commenting were just like, oh yeah, I think the ARR was fine. It was just in hindsight in comparison to Heavenswood, especially when it just gets rolling on, that the ARR is bad in hindsight. And I think there's an argument to be made that it's a bit boring anyway, considering, I'm queuing for the main scenario quest now because it's a ridiculous amount of XP, but they need to offer that amount of XP for people to get interested enough to do it. And we'll see which one we get, because there's obviously Praetorium, which is basically just a we can sit back and chat kind of raid. And then there's the other one, which is a bit more action, but really you're still just running around. Oh, hey Jim. And I really appreciate that the MSQ lets you effectively just level. Like, if you pick your main, you can pick your main pretty early on and then just roll with it. Oh yeah, I think definitely in hindsight, all the callbacks and all the setup in an ARR it's incredibly necessary for the rest of the story, which is sort of what makes the whole argument a bit of a shame. Because it's like, a game shouldn't have to take 50 hours to get really good. But in Final Fantasy's case, it's worth it. But not a lot of people have that time, and it's like, it's just a big sort of argument. Which admittedly, MMOs aren't really for everyone. In general. I think it's a very, very specific type of game. Although, coming from World of Warcraft, I'm sure you've seen a lot of the sort of discussion in comparison, because as I mentioned before, there's the whole Exodus, so there was still a ton of content with all the people saying, oh hey, I'm trying Final Fantasy XIV from WoW and all the rest of it. Comparatively, the grind in Final Fantasy is not much. The AR was actually fine for a lot of ex-WoW players just because it was like, oh, I'm used to so much worse. Yeah. No, I started with one other friend who, they got to the Titan delivery quest stuff, and like that I can understand not being able to, like, that's probably about as bad as it gets. And after that, it definitely, speeds up a bit, but I almost can't blame people for not making it past our... I reckon if there was ever a modern WoW expansion to get back into, Legion was it. I remember playing I was a Blood Death Knight back in Legion, or at least Blood Death Knight's always been my main. But I used to do some, excuse me, some mythic tanking, and Legion was probably the last time I had a lot of fun in like modern WoW. Hell, I would never have touched Shadowlands if I didn't need to get footage from it. Or at least, like, actual personal footage, because I don't think you should ever rely on other people's opinions unless you basically, like, can't. Like, you absolutely have to. Which was, say, the case with the video I just released on 6.1. Like, Final Fantasy is never going to do a classic version of the server, I don't think. That would be a little crazy. Although I think to talk about the point on having to play solo, have you actually joined any free company, Molly? Because I've found a lot of the communities that have started to bring in a lot of other players, or a lot of new players, incredibly welcoming, and which is really one of the reasons you play an MMO, because it's a massively multiplayer online game. You sort of hope that it was somewhat entertaining to play in. Yeah, with other people. Oh, well, the thing is, the whole thing's cross-platform, which is one of those little facts that I think a lot of people keep forgetting about. And admittedly, I 100% forget about it myself. especially considering just how competently made on the PlayStation it is. I can't remember hearing anyone actually complain about the PlayStation version. In fact, I think a lot of people just straight up prefer it, because you can get to this stage where you just lying back, playing some Final Fantasy, which for an MMO, that's a chill experience. Oh, welcome to the Castrum zone. I love doing the main scenario just for the ton of XP and the fact that it is so well optimized. But otherwise, it's very weird doing it as a new player, I reckon, as well, because it's you're not used to this level of optimization on a run, or just this mass pulling or anything like that. Yeah, I think a nice free company, even if it isn't just always talking about, or even if you don't interact with it, just having some really friendly chat going is just, it helps make the world feel a bit alive. Because I still play WoW Classic a lot, and I'm in a guild that I've been with for for years and years now. Still completely silent. Plenty of talking when we're all on Discord raiding, and it's like we're a quality guild. We're at one night a raid in Classic at the moment for TBC. But yeah, just really not much chatting. So the fact that the community in Final Fantasy is all about it is incredible. Oh yeah, welcome Tatos, and yeah, is it Tatos? I need to get better at quick reading, like switching between screens, which is a streamer art. But yeah, at least Castrum there isn't as many cutscenes, which I think is the biggest annoyance with Praetorium. Like, it's just such a heinous pain. I mean, it's good if you have like other things to do. Like, I'll do my washing when Praetorium comes up, because it's just, I know I have the time to go to the washer, set it all through. Oh no, I did the exact same thing, Tatos. The great Samwise, carrier of Frodo, the entire subplot of them going to Mount Doom, Samwise is just hard carrying Frodo. That is an absolute fact, and I'll hear nothing else on it. And yeah, I did the exact same thing and waited until the end of 5.5. Because admittedly, the Final Fantasy community is really hardcore on spoilers. And I don't think there would have ever been anything like without a pretty hefty spoiler warning on it. But it's always one of those little concerns, and now that it's done and the game's really opened up, it's nice to get in and then actually, do player housing and stuff like that. Which I'm really hoping to see if I can sneak a house in Ishgard in Endwalker 6.1. That'll be interesting. Or maybe I should wait, see what the island, those like islands are, because if you can just have a house on that, it might be cool to wait for that one, especially if there's like a pretty hefty cost with it. Oh yeah, no, Praetorium is just, you're doing something else. There's a bit of gameplay at the start when you're running, but after the confrontation with Nero, it's just like 2 seconds of boss, 20 minutes of cutscene kind of thing. And yeah, Molly, you're right. I have not seen anyone toxic, but then again, Square Enix is definitely a lot harder on toxicity. Like they'll crack down if they get a hint of it, which helps form a good community, because I think a lot of people just don't join for that reason. Yeah, I think there's definitely a point where it's hard to remember what's where in Final Fantasy with just how extensive the story is. So occasionally a spoiler might sneak out, which is I never think there's a big spoiler is probably the best part. There's not going to be something that absolutely ruins the experience for you. Especially in comparison to other games like, say, WoW, and it's just like, you know, I already knew the entire story of Shadowlands without playing it just because of Wowhead. Oh yeah, that's... I feel like the healer... the healer sprout one is a pretty... Well, the tank to healer one's a very common one. Because there is just so many tanks that like absolutely want to just big dick pull it, get everything out of the way and just speedrun dungeons. And I personally love doing that because as I was mentioning earlier, Dark Knight's still my main and I absolutely love playing it. But, you know, it's a matter of courtesy to just ask, hey, are you all right with me pulling a ton of things? You know, it shouldn't be this like weird obscene thing to be like, to just ask. Then again, when it comes to bullying in this, it's like, yeah, go for it. Run to a tank, you'll be fine. Oh yeah. Well, the fact that it, like you are, the patches are 3 to 4 months, like that's incredible. And thank God, because I'm at like, after finishing the MSQ, and I think the best part about coming in this late is it's like watching a TV series. And I know that Yoshida mentioned like the equivalent for 6.1 and onwards is going to be the next like series in the arc kind of thing. But yeah, it's just like coming into Game of Thrones in season 4. It's like, oh cool, I can get all the cool stuff, and then after you spend hours and hours and hours watching all the show, you get to the end and go, great, now I'm waiting for the next season with everyone else. Although, obviously, I don't want to use Game of Thrones 100% as an example, considering I've never seen a season or like a show end so terribly that it not only was like poorly reviewed, but it exited the public consciousness. Like, that is an impressive level of like a bad season. Honestly impressive that they managed to accomplish that. And then I don't even know what D&D is up to at this point. I think they lost that Star Wars gig, because that's what they were really rushing it for. If I remember, it's like I said, it's been a while. Oh yeah. Honestly, just being able to go through it, because I think I started in July and it took me 2.5 months to get through the MSQ. Oh, I am a bit worried about the transition. Like, I have no doubt that Endwalker is going to end incredibly well. Like, it's going to be a majestic end. How they move on! Oh, I want to know how they're going to do it. Which, I think 4 months is like a very reasonable time frame. I think the best thing about Final Fantasy, and really, I could go, there's a lot of best things about it. But one of the great things about Final Fantasy is that you don't need to log in every day. There's not like this forced, you have to do X amount of dailies or otherwise you're going to be inferior to everyone else. You're going to get behind or anything dumb like that. It really is just, I can do this at my own pace. And I want to know what's happening. There's so many like strands of things they've set up, and it's like, Oh. Oh, Final Fantasy is definitely like one of the really good first MMOs. I really appreciate that they don't put the shop in like in your face. This is a fun little fact. Apparently, the in-game shop, that was apparently actually like a player requested thing, if I remember my history correctly. Which is like, that's wild. It's very rare to have a player base that's so absolutely loyal that they're just like, give me something more to spend my money on. And to be fair, Yoshida is a man who bloody well deserves it. Oh, I'd be very surprised if they did that. Yeah. You clearly know a bit more about it than I do, Jay. But yeah, I suppose it is. Or even if it was just like a more purely Japanese request, it's still a case of insane to have a player base ask to pay more money. Very, very rare a thing. And I'm very keen, actually. I don't know if you saw the last video that I did, but the next one I'm going to be doing is on A Realm Reborn. And a part of that is I want to actually go through and actually look at Yoshi P's life and give a bit of a descriptor on that, which I'm... Like, that man must have done something very interesting to be in the position that he's in at the moment, considering I've never seen a game developer as loved as him. Well, I think they could really just afford to do a lot of sales when they want to, because it's just like, this is a bonus. Very happy with it. Oh yeah, I think the level skip is definitely going to be one of the most controversial items. Which is... I can definitely understand. I decided, because I eventually want to do a boosting video, so I actually did it with the Paladin Gladiator, actually see what, what's the experience for it. And it feels so much emptier, I'll be honest. Which is a damn shame. And I imagine, like, obviously, humans are unique. So, I doubt that everyone's going to have that experience, but I think it's also going to be a very common one, especially if you actually really enjoy any kind of story. Ah, yes. I remember, if I remember Yoshi P, Dragon Quest was really well received. This is one of the few MMOs at the time in Japan, if I remember. Because that was done by... Oh, it was either Square or Enix, if I remember. Hence the connection to Square Enix. Ooh, 50% is a damn good deal. I know, it's just this... I really wish, when it came to boosting a character, if they could somehow have the boosted character have all the abilities from the story, but then still let you go through the story and get the rewards from it. Oh, yeah. I need to go through the no-clip one a bit more. Because I'm quite happy with the summary I did on what was wrong with 1.0. And the reason I did that is because those videos are... Because there's a no-clip one and there's the something summary one. I can't remember 100% off the top of my head. But there's another really long documentary series, but they're both 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old now. Incredibly old videos. And I do know there's definitely a lot of new people into the game, so I was like, hey, you know, I'll give a summary of it, because I was super curious myself. Oh, God. Good night, Tatoes. Thank you for coming around and having a chat for a little while. Have a damn good night. It's a nice, cool 1:35 p.m. here. A bit more reasonable time. Oh, nice coffee. It's always quite wild. It's just sort of like a bit of a tangent. Having started to do YouTube and like a bit of streaming on the side, because I do this now every Sunday, 1 p.m. You know, gives a nice little algorithm boost. But just seeing how far reaching a lot of the videos are is absolutely wild. Like, I think I had more Germans watch some of my videos than Australians, which is interesting. So, yeah, just a fun little fact there for you. Oh no, yeah, like I sort of said, when I boosted the Gladiator Paladin, it came with all the story. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, no, now that I thought about it, yeah, I think there's ARR skips or MSQ story skips, and then there's the class skips. But when you skip the class, like when you get the boost for a class, it goes and auto completes all of the class quests. Yeah. 2020 hindsight definitely didn't make that as clear as I probably could have. But yeah, I wish it had because the annoying thing is that the job quests have abilities tied to them. So that's probably, I imagine it's almost a system issue that they have to have them pre-done. Otherwise, you know, it might not work or something like that. And I mean, you can do it through New Game Plus, but it's like, there's almost a difference in doing it naturally and as opposed to doing it at max. And having the reward, like having that little extra reward as well, is super helpful. For at least the inspiration for it, because it's such a pain in the it's such a pain not being able to get a lot of the old gear sets, at least not as easily as you probably could have. Because I know you can buy the one for Heavensward onwards at the Centurio guys. I have no idea where they get the 1.1 for the Paladin. And admittedly, it's not like the coolest looking thing in the world, but yeah, still want a little bit of the glamour. Because I always appreciate that like plate cloth aesthetic, which Paladins always seems to have. Yeah, the 1.0 artifact armor. Because I know you can still get all the like the old artifact weapons, but I have no idea where you can actually purchase the 1.0 artifact stuff, unless there's a place in Idleshire, mate. Not Idleshire. Revenant's Toll. I'm slowly getting better with my names. Calamity Salvager. Oh yeah, of course, because there's the guys in I started in Leminsa, so I think I remember seeing them. Alrighty, well, after this, we're going to go pay them a visit. Because completely didn't realise that. And this is like honestly, this is part of the fun of playing a new MMO. Is learning all the little details. Actually, I have the 2.0, or at least I know where to get the 2.0, because you can get that at the Centurio vendor in, what you call it, in Ishgard. And then again, it might be there as well, which would have saved me a lot of, well, Centurio seals. Make sure I stand in the middle. Good courtesy. Man, after doing a lot of the like trials later on, these mechanics are just like, damn, this really is like Babby's first kind of stuff. Which, I mean, fair enough. It is sort of designed more for newer players. So I can't 100% complain about that. It's also no wonder a lot of people sort of go, yeah, I'm here for the XP than anything else. Thank God I can fire an artillery piece from a good 1.5 meters away. Oh, that's the Shire armor. The sword and shield aesthetic as well is always just so nice. But then again, there's not many like armor sets in FF that are actually that bad. Ah. Really? That, the more you learn. Alrighty, then hopefully there's the 2.0 stuff as well. Because otherwise, gonna be a bit disappointed I've missed out on a bit of glam. Bloody hell, a lot of 3 a.m.s. No, thank you for coming by, Molly. Really, really do appreciate the really anyone who's going to come around and have a chat. It's always good fun. Like, you know, that's part of the reason you stream. Oh, thank God they're expanding the glam dresser. I think like that's been one of the biggest complaints I've seen about Final Fantasy. Which is, I mean, another reason that doing these sort of videos is really cool is like you get a lot of input from other people on these sort of topics. Because the one thing everyone was willing to give World of Warcraft credit for was the transmog system. I mean, different colours and highlights, that's still incredibly important. Honestly, like that's why there's different colors and different skins for different well, yeah, for just different mounts, different everything. Like hell, there's all of the trial boss mounts and whatnot, which are effectively just recolors and maybe a little bit of an extra flair and effect here and there. Which I need to get around to doing the Heavenswood ones, because I have all the... I've got all the horses except for Nightmare. Because I think Nightmare's a much bigger pain in the ass to get. But then again, I haven't like looked at loot tables or anything. I just went, oh, where do I get these? Which is always good fun. And I need to still look at I do know there's a third-party website someone mentioned, I can't remember what it was, that does mount tracking. Because my original complaint, or one of my original thoughts was like, oh, why don't they have a mount collection list like they do with the Orchestron? But then someone pointed out they have so many mounts in a that are from like events and whatnot. They didn't want people to sort of have that disappointment of missing out. Honestly, whoever came up with the idea for having music play, like the boss music play when you're on that mount, I hope he got a raise. Oh, perfect. No, I'm actually gonna just write that down. I've got my big piece of paper for any ideas that I have right next to me. Boom, written down. Or lull achievements. Who? One thing I will say about Lullafells, I can almost appreciate why Blizzard has never had a gnome in a cutscene. I can't take him seriously a lot of the time. I love how all mounts can fly in Final Fantasy XIV, but sometimes it's just a meme. There's like watching some of them transform. Oh, hey, Grave Digger. Hey, Grav Digger. But that is incredibly lucky. That is insanely lucky. Because I have only heard people going, oh, that's one of those ones I really have to go back and try for. Which I think is one of the reasons that the Wondrous Journal is so good, is because it, like, you know, you go back and do a lot of these old ones. Oh, the Whirl Eater's a pain in the ass. But, you know, you get the idea. You occasionally go back, and eventually you're going to get one. But, welcome, as always, to the stream. The nice chill one. I do actually have a query for you guys. If you'll humour me. Were you just sort of vibing on YouTube and saw the stream? Because I've actually really wondered, like, how you found it. Because YouTube streaming is just, there doesn't seem like there's a really good search function as opposed to Twitch, which I think is, like, you know, one of the big reasons that Twitch is still huge. Oh, at least Garuda's nice and quick. Like, you really just have to pick one that you can just speed run. And then just keep praying. Especially the annoying thing about doing it is then you see a bunch of you keep seeing the other horse whistle every time you're doing it. But I reckon once Endwalk is ended, and then I'm like at the same point as everyone else for time, that's when I'll really sit down and start grinding out some old mounts. Ooh, I'm keen to get to 80 so I can go get the 80 relic weapon. Because most of the guns in this game are designed incredibly well. I'm insanely impressed with the amount of effort they've managed to put into it. But, you know, I say that. Most weapons actually look really, really good. Oh, hey, Graves. And, wonderful. So it was on the homepage. Interesting. Yeah, I was always wondering just how the system works. I never get recommended very many streamers, which is, yeah, it always seemed a bit weird. But also, thank you for subscribing. I'm going to make a wild assumption that you liked the video at least after watching it. Because it's very interesting. Like, that one was my biggest for a good while, and then I did the Shadowlands v Shadowbringers one. And what I did before, like when I released that one, I was at like 80 subs, and that Final Fantasy XIV one was at like 4K, and then the last one just came up and bloody exploded, which has been absolutely wild experience. Absolutely wild experience. Yes, and thank you for humouring me. I'm always thinking that one day I might switch to Twitch, because I'd really do I actually quite like streaming. It's good fun. And then I'm very lucky to have a bunch of guys like you to come on, have some bad chats. Which is, I mean, one of the big reasons that you stream, let's be real. Well, that's... Or really, it's one of the reasons that you watch streams as well. And the advantage to smaller streamers is that you can actually interact. And I've realised I promised to go to the Calamity vendor. Roku TV. I've never actually heard of that. Got as a little aside, the fact that the cities are actually filled with people, wild. You go through many of the places in WoW, just dead. It's so depressing to see. Where are we? Paladin. I mean, I'm not surprised that was your first one, considering just for whatever reason YouTube just decided, yep, today is your day. Here you go. Now to figure out which one of these it's in. Oh, probably in job specific gear. Ah, yeah, the Galleon. In the fight. Ah. Well, I feel a bit dumb now for not knowing that this was here. Let's see. Just casually go back and buy it. Brandis. Oh. That's actually a pretty cool smart TV function, actually. Where are we? Machanist. Yeah, figure out a way to organize that set better. Ah, I've never, like, I need to sit down and really figure out a lot of the systems as what needs to be armoired and what needs to be dressed. Always gets me. Oh, okay, now I need to remember what this one is. Yeah, it's, I mean, it's good old armoire. Trying to pronounce French is always a interesting experience. Because you look at a word and you have to figure out what third of this word do I not pronounce. And then it, like, frustrating. I tried to learn French for a while there, and I think one day I'll go back to give it a more honest go. But it is just such an interesting language. Figuring out what, like, part of me wishes I did psychology instead of business and economics, just to figure out how you learn and how your brain retains certain things. Because, like, for some reason, as a fun personal fact, I am terrible with birthdays. But I'm not just like a normal terrible with birthdays so I don't remember them. I will remember every birthday wrong by exactly one day, and for some reason, every time I then try to adjust for that day, I will always adjust the wrong way. So that'll always continue to be one day off. Oh, now I'd love to see that. Real, like, the glam scene is one of those things that it's just like another massive collection thing. So I don't know whether or not to focus on collecting the glam first or collecting the mounts or like, oh, hey Patrice, welcome to the stream as always. One of the most OG. which is a little better. You're probably going to see me die to some mechanic here because I do not 100% remember how to do a lot of these bosses. I remember having to do them because this is like all part of the Bosjan Southern Front stuff. Which was, and admittedly, these are some really, I remember them being really fun raids. I just can't remember what they were. Oh, I'm very, because it's Pandemonium, I think, is the next set of Alliance raids? Or something like that. I can't, I'm trying to remember the media tour, and there was a lot in that media tour. Okay, I remember we have to stand on those for something. Are these the Heavensward ones? Because I know there's a set for the Bosjan front that you have to do. That's oh yeah, no, these are the Heavensward ones. Oh, is that the new 8-man? Yeah. I need to give Eden a go, actually. I unlocked the first one, but I never actually got around to trying it. But you're right, this one's the Heavensward one. I think you need to do the Stormblood set. I am on Primal. So yeah, I'm Primal Leviathan at the moment. Yeah, the last ones. It's there's just there's so much to remember. Let's see. Now to try to remember. Oh yeah, there's what is it? Thornberry, I think it is. Oh, hey, Future Vet. Honestly, after this, Grave Digger, 100%. Any inspiration, I am keen to hear. Yes, Tomberry. I heard, like, I got to a certain part in the MSQ and then was like, oh, all the Australians are on Tonberry. I buggered this one up a little bit. Thankfully, they're doing the, what you call it? The Oceanic servers. So, transferring over to those, I reckon that'll be really, really, really good. Oh, the wild... Now, that is an ancient show. Oh, dodged. Nah, never mind. Got absolutely juggled there. Oh, 100%. I reckon at this stage, I'm looking to actually do a Discord channel because, like, the growth, the channel's grown pretty big by now, and a big part of being sort of relatively successful is building a bit of a community. So Discord, get a lot of the Australians together, and then there's data center transfers anyway. Oh, hey, Lindy. So 100%, I reckon I'll be seeing a lot more people when Endwalker comes out, and we can sort of transfer the more Australian side of things. Well, yeah, I think it's such a common thing these days to have that sort of extra little bit of community. Yep. Honestly, I'm just glad that there is such a realm transfer system in the first place, considering, well, yeah, like, I'm so used to WoW that it sort of doesn't have it. The fact that there's even cross-realm in the first place within a data set is bloody impressive. Yeah, I reckon next Final Fantasy video will be... I'll announce the Discord. One of my friends who's been doing like Kickstarter stuff sort of set up one for himself, and sort of like let me copy his homework in a bit of a way. I just need to set up bots. I think that's like a big one. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I think it is the sharding. It's within it. Oh, the honestly, I would not have been surprised if the queues were like super bad back then. Thankfully, they're not bad at the moment, considering I think it was like a 50-man queue to get in. Yeah, I think it's vaguely improved now, but it's still an annoying system, for at least in WoW's terms, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I think you are definitely right. They are going in a bit more mega server. I sort of forgot that because I mainly play classic at the moment, so my mindset's always very, very classic WoW. Oh yeah, especially in WoW terms these days when there's a lot less people around. Well, because of the sharding, which is like such a huge, huge thing. One thing that has to be really said for Final Fantasy is they make the world feel so much more alive. Which one's EQ? Elder Quest? Not sure. Ooh. The thing with WoW is that World of Warcraft does a few things very well, and that is competitive endgame PvE and PvP. EverQuest, of course. I really need to update my... Do I need a stamp? Probably. Update my history on it. I mean, MMOs honestly just have that crack feeling to them. But yeah, when it comes to being a new person into World of Warcraft, unless you're there for high-end PvP and raiding, which is really, really good, then nah, I wouldn't recommend it. Basically. Because all of the systems in the game feed into that end game player power. I did say I was going to make mistakes. I put the disclaimer there. I'm freeing myself of liability. And to be fair, I did try and stack. That person dodged. I have made a mistake by attacking this man. Although I will say, one thing I really appreciate about Final Fantasy is that the markers for rating is so much clearer than it is for WoW. Yeah, streaming, very convenient excuse, because you have to give the little dodge look at the other screen. Makes it so much more fun. There aren't really many ultimate attacks in these raids as well, I've noticed. It's mainly trials that you get to see that. But I reckon the next class, because like I'm so close to finishing this, is I'd love to level Astrologian. Considering that like it just looks super fun class to play, but I don't want to level it on stream. Oh, you had to get this on yeah, now I remember. I am dumb. Unfortunately, there's like a 10-second delay. So, like, the second you give the advice, I'm dead. And then I remember, because it's like, wait a second. Now I remember the core mechanic for this. Oh, thank God for good healers. Oh, the fact that you sort of like sort of need to Oh, can I get away with the transcendence? Oh! I was boned for that one. The fact that some people can really bugger that pronunciation up is kind of sad. Admittedly. But then again, I'm one of those sort of English biased sort of purists. But yeah, I thought I'd get away with the transcendence there, that immortality would survive me. Let's see, am I gonna... Oh, this guy's got me. Old Dragons, that's the man who's getting my commendation. Oh, there's definitely a point where it's just like, oh. Oh, the good old tomato debate. It's mainly I swear it's mainly the Americans. The second the Revolutionary War finished, they freed themselves from the English. They were just like, you know what? We buggered the English so bloody hard. We've got to bugger the language as well. Sweet. I think I was in Liminsa around the Void, the Salvager Man. So I will let me know who you are, and I'm very keen to check it out. Let's say I need to kill Voidfire. Because Big Burst doesn't sound very good. Oh, this is just trash, isn't it? I really appreciate that they go out of their way to make some cool aesthetic kind of like, you know, there's a bit of mechanics involved in the trash themselves as well. Well, American is more or less like, it is a very different language. Not, I mean, obviously we can communicate. It's not going to France and, oh, I need to get in the thing. Yeah, it's like not going to France or anything. The fact that you took out all the U's, put some Z's where some S's were, it's like, mate, what are you doing? I know you don't like the Queen's English, but just give it a red hot go, mate. Then again, I can't really sit on a high horse when it comes to English, considering I'm talking proper Aussie. Oh, like whenever I've been overseas, to really make sure people know I'm Australian, you sprinkle in the mates, a couple, like any little bit of slang that you can think of, you fit in there. Oh, that's smooth, Jay. That is. Let's see, I'm C, so I think I'm over here. That is smooth. Oh, 100%. The second you say g'day or mate, then they instantly go, oh, you're Australian. Accent doesn't even matter at that point. Like, I think I was over in the US when I was, I think, about 16. Was when I went on a trip over there, and it was just like every time we're out, it's like, oh, how you doing this morning, hon? It's like, g'day, mate. How's it going? Yeah, pretty good. I mean, that's the other one. Pretty good. It's really in the inflection as well. Like that's a big part of the a good Australian accent. I swear, English is a very common one that people think. Yeah. Honestly, the fact that not bad is one, I don't get. I really would have thought that would have been a more universal sort of saying. Yeah, I mean, then again, it's one of those things that's like, you get so used to a certain set of language that it's wild. Oh, I swear I've seen some of Carl Barron's stuff because I know the name. I could not, for the life of me, actually say what some of them was. I think that's a big detail. Finishing off my coffee. Up in your... I have heard... Oh, this is honestly one of the coolest fights. Like, one thing you do have to say is, like, for Final Fantasy in general, is just the aesthetic and the style for a lot of these. Oh my god. Oh. Dodge. Good thing I'm on the ball, 100%. No mistakes. Yeah, I think... Oh. Disregard what I said about no mistakes. Yeah, I think it's very easy to pick up accents, and I think there's also a degree of... some people are a lot more inclined to, in a way. A lot of people do pick one up easier than others. But I think primarily just comes down to the fact that you don't want to... Nobody ever wants to feel like an outsider, so adopting a bit of an accent local to there sort of alleviates that in a way. I honestly need to figure out more of the references. I remember there was one really long comment chain on one of the videos about someone going through and going, oh, here's all the... like, here's a couple of the references, direct references. It's absolutely wild. Oh, I'm... Ooh. Oh, that was very rude, that person. Oh, the southern accent has to be probably the most iconic American one. The southern drawl. Because like, how far south is that? In American terms, because whenever I think that, I'm just thinking Texas, basically. But I imagine it's most of the southern states. Then again, my American geography isn't the best. I just know that, what you call it? Texas and Florida. Florida's in the south. That Kentucky. Okay. Oh yeah, that was good fun. Okay, so there's like a sort of a point in the states where it just sort of gets progressively more drawl the further south you go. Is like the day-to-day experience in Florida as like hectic as it's made out to be, considering, you know, there's always the big meme of Florida man. Because I'm like, I can't imagine it's like a daily occurrence that you're just seeing, you know, absolutely insane things going on. The 7th. Oh yeah, no, I remember. Oh, I was actually watching obviously a lot of that 1.0 stuff for the last video I did. It was very interesting to sort of see how all that sort of old story went. Oh. See if I can have a cheeky intermittent sip of water. Ah, 8 stacks of vulnerability. Not great. Oh, they're gone. Easy. No evidence of a mistake. No mistake happened. Fucking Bayonetta fight. Oh god, please. I'm not dead. All right. Oh, thank God! Like that's one of the reasons I want to level Astrologian is just to be able to be a good healer because it's satisfying to do tanking and healing in this game. That's probably one of the biggest compliments I want to give. Like, I prefer to tank than to DPS. And the US does just seem incredibly crazy. In comparison to what I'm used to in Australia, it's just just so totally different. But then again, you know, America 300 million odd people, if I remember. Like, you know, there's a lot of people in the US. And then Australia, I think we hit 25 at some point. But it's like, I'm trying to remember, it was a while ago, I don't know if it's still true, but it was that the New York police force has roughly the same amount of manpower as the Australian military combined. Kind of population difference. Or then again, New York may just be absolutely insane. It requires that sort of military level force to keep law and order. Yeah, so about 300 million people on us, which is a fair bit. Well, I think that's far more common than you think. Andre gets it. Because, no, it's very similar for Australia. Because we're, like, the Americans are the full-on, like, the United States. Like, it's a full system in itself. But then Australia's a federation, it's very similar. Like, for COVID, our Prime Minister basically just left it to the States and did bugger all himself. Which is a bold decision. But honestly, a more centralized state, I think, is always going to roll a bit better. Or it should be rolling a bit better. Yeah, good old ScoMo. Fucking... ScoMo is the ultimate example of the person who got promoted beyond the point where he was useful. I'm New South Wales, so we were going great until we weren't. And then we've been locked down for the last little bit. And then thank God I'm double vaxxed and it's like cool, I now have all of the rights. But I have two friends who basically just don't want to get vaxxed, and their reasoning is like because they're Catholic. They don't know the long-term like fertility issues with it, so they sort of don't want to. But it's like just because they didn't then means that they can't go outside. So where are you at, Gravedigger? I've got to do my own first. Rate the Mog. Oh, Orthodox. Now that's a unique one. Like, of all the Christian branches, Orthodox is very like, I mean, mainly Russian now, considering the Eastern Roman Empire doesn't really exist anymore. And I suppose there's a lot through like Syria, but then you get to like Egypt, and that's more Coptic. Oh yeah, well, I suppose is Russian Orthodoxy super different? Because I know they got it from the Greeks when the Greeks were the Byzantines or the Eastern Roman Empire, and then you can make arguments. Honestly, the fact that Dom didn't just go, yep, lockdown's over, you're all free, yeah, go have fun, kids. Stupidest political mistake ever. Considering, like, at this point, half the world's just sort of living with it. Which is, like, how diseases sort of... A lot of diseases end. Oh. Very courteous gravedigger. That is... I can see the Mad Max. Bloody hell. I keep forgetting I can press home. The full cinematic... the full cinematic experience. You, my good man, have some bloody good taste. Like... Oh, the front pouches as well. That is... super, like... Yeah, Mad Max, very deserty as well. I think that's probably the most impressive thing for any piece of glamour is managing to do it from different sets. It's very easy to have a single set that's really, really good. Because, like, you know, the sets are designed that way. But having the different set, oh. I think the bandana definitely ties it together. And the annoying thing with Vieira is that you don't have head pieces, which is why I switched from Bunny Girl more, like, really. And then I realized that classic, you can't not be a bunny girl and not have a swimsuit attire. Including the sunglasses. That is pretty good. That's attention to detail. Oh, that's one of the anima, like, artifact weapons, isn't it? Is that the... Oh, that's the 81. Oh. Is Paladin your main Gravedigger? Because I can only imagine... I only imagine it is if you actually have the... Yeah, the full 535 resistance weapon. Oh. That just looks so damn good. And now you're just flexing. You're just flexing hard. Oh yeah, if you only ever use glasses with eye patches, Vieira's great. Oh, I'm almost tempted by the male Vieira because they do look really, really good. Like, the fact that that was such a requested feature, I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised. Ooh, is that White Mage? Does Conjurer turn into White Mage? Or is that Skull? Trying to remember all of these. 5, 5, 3, 4. I only just got my Woebringer on the Dark Knight and was like, oh, this is neat. And then realized that there's like tons of effort to put in. Yeah, White Mage. Very... Thank God. I'm not that useless. Oh, the biker chick aesthetic. I'm just... Full focus. Full focus. Honestly, like, the reason I chose Vieira at the start was like, you know, if I'm going to embrace the meme of playing because everyone has that like, oh, this is a weeb game thought coming into it. I was like, cat girls, generic anime. Every dime a dozen anime has bloody cat girls and cat boys. Bunny girls. Whoa, now that's unique to Final Fantasy. And then obviously decided to be a dragon man after a while. Ooh. I just need to keep checking what the weapons are. Thaumaturge, Black Mage. I really appreciate that they have the like stowed away look, and then the second you bring it out and you're ready to fight, it's charged up. It's far more power. Like, it feels far more powerful. That is. Oh, and the classic, the new Inferno jacket. Yeah, the female aura just like looks so much tinier and thinner. Like it's so different. And there's another example of the light up effect on draw. Oh. How long have you been playing this Gravedigger? Like, this must have been over a good amount of time. And the glasses. Oh. Since... You've managed this all since June? You absolute mad lad. How do you... I'm trying to think, because was there a way? I swear I've seen somewhere... Oh, maybe because you're a Hyperion, I can't see all the class lists and stuff. Damn, that is impressive. Honestly, fair enough. And if this is how you can spend your retirement, then the fact that it's going to take me, a couple more decades to get to that point is immensely disappointing. It's to give the game away. Only 26 myself. So I've got a little while till retirement. I mean, are they? I mean, I could imagine they are. Welcome, June. What is June? I apologize if I get the name wrong. But yeah, I suppose it did seem a bit easier, because even like with a little bit of light grinding, I already had a couple of the memories for the Dark Knight, which I think at some point, and I might do it for the stream next week, I'll just chill and like sort of grind through these ones a bit. Oh, no, thanks for coming, Jay, and having a chat. It's absolutely brilliant to have you around. I'm streaming 1 p.m. AST Sundays at the moment, but I'm probably going to look to have it a bit earlier so I can get... So it's a reasonable time for a lot more Americans to actually come on, because I know it's very late for you guys. But have a good night and have a good work day tomorrow. Oh. And thank you, Gravedigger, for... Okay, now that's the ultimate flex. The frog. I actually have like the sexy frog dance. Oh, welcome, Edgar. And you are very right. For the night owls, this is nothing. Admittedly, what is the time over there? Oh, then again, I mean, when I say over there, being the US, there's like 3 time zones. If I remember. I think there's 2. No, 3. Yeah. East, middle, and west. As you can tell, I'm not the... Only 10:30. Oh, there's 4. Bloody hell. I clearly need to learn a little bit more Mountain and Pacific. What's the difference between Mountain and Central? Because I would have thought those were roughly the same ones. Because my original guess was that sort of like New York down to Florida would have been one rough time zone, then Texas up would have been another, and then you have sort of California up to... Oh, unless Alaska is in another... Like, well, I reckon Alaska might be in another time zone. But then again, that might be... Oh, okay, it goes as far as Maine. I need to brush up on my American geography. Because I sort of like know a few like key little points on the map. But like other than that, you know, learning 50 states, that's a lot of states. Which, admittedly, I reckon the reason my American knowledge is so poor is that I really like to play Europa Universalis 4. So I'm very good at knowing a lot of European and Indian locations, like Middle East, because that's sort of remained relatively historically stagnant. But then I don't know my American side of things because I haven't seen much in the US. Oh, there's a little bit of Schadenfreude by watching a lot of those videos of people going and interviewing Americans on the street, and obviously it's like super edited, so they cut out anyone who actually knows what they're talking about. But there's always a little bit when they're like talking about other countries or other states. He was 48 from... Ah, okay then. You know what? I've learned something today, and that's important. But I'm also just gonna quickly be back in 1 minute, and then I reckon either jump back to leveling. So yes, I should be a bit more professional and get like a little splash screen, but I will be back only 1 minute. Thank you for waiting. I'm back. As you can tell, I am super professional at streaming. Oh, if truck driving for as long as I imagine you have in all of the states, your geography knowledge is going to be top bloody notch. Especially with all the time zones. And I thank you immensely for it, Mr. Gravedigger. So what do you reckon? Let's do a standard leveling. Yeah, how much? 14 minutes, really? It must be a slow Sunday at the moment for it to take 14 more minutes. Oh, yeah, sure. Would be my pleasure. Anyone else in chat on the Primal data center who wants to come to a bit of A couple of dungeons, a couple of bit of leveling. As I'm on Leviathan. Leviathan Primal. Oh. One day, very soon, we'll have the cross data center. Be able to just get as many people in as we need, as we want. Oh, Gravedeer, you absolute legend. Ow. I'm guessing I just pressed join and it also joins you as well. Well. You know what? That's the first taste of honestly, the reason I love tank as well is that tank healer queue, the more specialist role. And of course we instantly go into Ifrit, one of the quickest, relatively low XP leveling dungeons. Oh, I don't even get the full comp. Like, one thing I think would dramatically improve the new player experience for Final Fantasy XIV is just adding a bit more abilities, especially for the starting classes. Because at least Machanist does get Gorse Round early on to sort of weave in a bit. But so many of the base classes, because I started with Marauder, just don't have that. I think if it did, then it would be so much better. Make life so much, yeah, just easier for new players. Get a lot more interest early on. Because the ARR can be so much more of such a drag, in a way, which is a shame. Because I think it serves as such a big barrier to entry for a lot of people. How did you set up the Ultion? Because did you actually go through the ARR again, or did you sort of just boost for a rating ult? Oh, yeah, I suppose that makes sense, Josh. But at the same time, it's like, say by level 20, 22, you'd have been playing for like a good chunk of time by then, so you'd sort of be able to weave it in a bit. Oh, you can't recommend party members. That's lame. Oh, the cross-class abilities. Yes, I remember hearing about those. Are you still good for a couple more Gravedigger before I abuse your healing abilities for queue times? Oh yeah, you just get so many more combinations doing the specialist roles. But I remember hearing about the cross class cross class abilities, because I remember the prime example was always that you need to level Paladin to get Provoke, no matter on... Oh, perfect. Yeah, no matter what tank you were, so you pretty much were forced to do it, which is probably why it was one of those less liked features. Oh, I'm getting an introduction, which means I haven't done this one before. Wait on crisp static. Ah, very nice. Oh yes, I remember unlocking this. Oh, I remember unlocking this dungeon now, but then never deliberately queued into it because I was like, oh, I'll get a roulette for it one day. And today's that day. Oh, do you play both characters at this point, Jun? Because it seems like a lot of work. I mean, then again, I managed to balance my classic WoW character and this guy as well. So I don't... It's definitely not, like, impossible. Or anything so absurd. Ah! Okay. I think an interesting part, like, thought when it comes to that, like, job prerequisites is it's very Dungeons and Dragons-esque. Because I know in 3.5 there were just so many, like, what was the term? I think it was advanced classes, which sort of needed a bit of multi-classing prior to it to get into. It's such an interesting way of doing things. I'm very glad that they sort of separated it out a bit more. Because it certainly makes it, well, just so much nicer. A bit more clean. Big sip. Alrighty, well, because this is the first time I'm doing this, I'm going to make the baseline assumption that kill ads, don't stand in the bad things, follow markers, and hope for the best. Like that, boom, see? Didn't stand in the marker, probably no damage. Yep, no damage, easy. Oh, he moves, okay, well... What is it? What is it? Darkest Dungeons. The arrogance is a flimsy shield. Or overconfidence is a flimsy shield. What's UWU? I'm not familiar with that one. It's definitely one of those... I have a lot of acronym learning to do. Which, I mean, is just part of the fun of learning a new game. So that's really the big differentiator between... Ah, Ultimate. Okay. God, that's going back ARR levels, isn't it? That's bloody hell. Because I'm guessing then, if it was the ultimate weapon, ultimate, that you were doing the whole, what should you call it, level syncing. Or am I thinking of the wrong one? Which, entirely possible I am. Going to a beehive? Yeah. Or an ant hive. There's such varied dungeons in this game. Absolutely love the aesthetic for it. Ah, I'm hitting the point where I'm chugging the water. Like, I wonder if there's voice box exercises out there. Go to the gym for the old throat. Surely there must be something. Level 70. With a woken What? I have no idea what that sounds, but it sounds like it's the hardcore mode. I have no idea what it entails, but it sounds like the hardcore mode. Which is hardcore. No wonder it probably took you the 4 to 5 days trying to bloody clear it. It sounds godless. I would absolutely love to do a bit of raiding in Endwalker. Because I think one of the big disadvantages of coming in this late into Final Fantasy XIV was that like everything had already been cleared. So unless you sort of were in one of the raiding communities already, it was a bit more difficult. Queen Hawk. That's not a hawk, that's a bee. We're being lied to. But I do that, like, I absolutely love reading that sort of stuff and all the new, like, different acronyms and whatnot. Because, like I said, like, that's the point you know you're truly in with the game, that you know all the little details. Seven. Oh, what was the difficulty then? Was it just like a scaling matter? Oh, I would... Oh, I doubt it would be a scaling thing if it was the sync, because the sync's to get rid of that, isn't it? Okay, yep. I see your game, you bees. Because I absolutely love the syncing system. The fact that it's not more common in games is a mystery to me. Yeah. And I mean, like, all power to them. I'm glad that they could actually go and enjoy that sort of gameplay. And the fact it's there. Like, you know, I don't have to play a classic version of the game. I don't need to wait for a time walking event or anything like that. I can just go back and play whatever I've got people to do it with. Oh. Ah, that makes sense. I'm guessing legend titles are just definitely one of those, like, super prestige, like, not items, but one of those things that you look at and you go, oh, that person knows how to play this game. Which you really need. It's like the... yeah, you just need big achievement things. I think the pterodactyl from the Ishgardian Restoration Front, which is more grinding than anything else, but, you know, there's definitely a little bit of a, how did you manage that kind of deal with it? Which I think is incredibly important for a RPG, is to have those how would you say, prestige items. There's things that you can just look at someone and go, I know who to look up to. And the big thing about Final Fantasy is that a lot of it isn't just gear. Like, you can tell someone's cool by the title, by mounts. Hell, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if there was, like, housing stuff that was equally difficult to get. Let's see, what does this guy look? Ah, Belladonna. Belladonna means something, and I think it's Italian, but I have no idea what it is. Well, it says Bella, so I'm imagining it's something feminine, but my knowledge beyond that, not sufficient, unfortunately. Oh, isn't there like 200 levels of Palace of the Dead or something? Because I've given it a go and I'm struggling past at about 40. But then again, I did a bit of it on Machanist to see if it was good to level up with, and it wasn't really. Oh. Oh, it's a pretty easy fight. Like, there's no separate title for doing it on different classes, is there? Because I swear, most things I've seen about it, people have been doing Red Mage, which I need to give a go at some point, considering that, like, rapier aesthetic is... It's so unique. You really don't see that often. And, oh yeah, Heaven on High is the Stormblood version? Because do you need to solo it in one life? You know what, Jim? I'll make it. Red Mage will be the next class. Because I reckon I wanna hit 80 today, or if I don't, I'm gonna get close enough that it's basically tidied away. Oh, neat. Oh, yeah. Oh, that just sounds painful. Sounds godless. No wonder it's like the highest breaking title thing. And admittedly, thank God it's like so difficult. Because I swear, so many MMOs really want to water down a lot of those sort of things. Especially like after it's been around for a while. It is. Oh, so I reckon next week I might even combine the two, do some Palace of the Dead on Red Mage, or just level a bit of Red Mage, because it does, like, from what I've seen, it looks really, really cool in terms of a mage. Because, you know, Black Mage is the classic, just sit there and cast big spells. Oh, hey, my generic Dave, welcome back. And no, this is like the whole point of the stream is just to chill leveling, talk about whatever. I really missed the boat on doing the streams of going through the story, doing a bit of the RP, doing all the voices for all the characters. Missed that boat. And 2020 hindsight, I probably should have done some even like private streams. And I'm going to private stream a lot of the Endwalker stuff just to have the video of it and reaction. Yeah, I've heard, like, really, the thing is, I have not heard of a single class that is bad. That's the annoying thing. It's like trying to pick what class to play. It's like, they're all good. The only differential factor is, do I want to start at like level 1 or level 50? Oh, it's... One day I'll get it all to max. Hopefully, maybe. Maybe not at the rate they keep adding new stuff, considering there's going to be Reaper under here and Sage over here. Honestly, I don't know. They're going to have to push this down a little bit to fit it all in. well, good news, Grev. You'll have 2 new classes to give a go. Maybe you'll find one of those. Hey, a horse, of course. The man with a million analogies. Welcome back. Oh, my pleasure. Oh, my generic, are you on the primal data center? Come do a couple of the dungeons with us. Someone with Gravedigger, who's also in the chat, who's an absolute legend with on healing. The fact that they have the scythe is such a cool weapon. Oh, that's a huge rip. Sage also looks like all the new classes look really good. All the changes for the classes at the moment look really good. Like, I reckon next in Endwalker, when there's the cross data center stuff, I reckon that'll be when when being able to like get a bunch of people in the chat together for stuff would be really, really fun. Yeah. And I was mentioning it earlier in the stream, so I don't know if you caught it, but I'm probably going to start setting up a Discord, and I'll announce it more properly in the next Final Fantasy XIV video I'm doing. And from there, I reckon I'll start doing a lot more of those cross data center things, because that's going to be good fun. Like, I love chatting with you guys on the stream. I imagine chatting and also playing at the same time will be good fun. It will be equal, if not more, fun. Yeah, WoW. It's an interesting dynamic with WoW that, in one way, all the classes are very different. That it's going to be a love or a hate, which means that you strongly love one. But at the same time, that might just be bad class design. Then again, I've never been great with mages and cast times, so I might not like black mages much. But we'll see if that's still what you call it. Lost my train of thought. Whether or not I can still enjoy it. That's always going to be the big thing. I imagine it's also going to be very fun to figure out. I think that's ultimately the biggest thing. Well, actually, it's an upside and a downside to Final Fantasy, that you don't have to start entirely new to level up a class. Like, it's all in the same character. But by the same token, there's you have to get through the early game for the classes, because a lot of them don't really open up till about 50. Oh yeah, no, I think that's ultimately the thing, is it's safe to experiment. So even if it's like the first little bit's a bit dodgy, you can sort of just chill with it. Oh, bloody... I keep forgetting which one's which. Ignore the silliness. But yeah, I think safe to experiment's a very good way of putting it. Which is really what you want in a game with so many classes, so many different ways of playing as well. And thankfully it's not as punishing early on, like if you want to give a few of the early classes a go. Because then you can use the MSQ to level, and that's just so good for it. DNC. Which one's DNC? Because that's not Dark Knight. No, yeah, Dark Knight's DRK. DNC. Oh, Dancer. Dancer does look pretty cool. With the like glaives. I saw, like, in terms of RPG, they really go out of their way to be a bit more unique. We forgot to turn the thing off. I should probably pay a little more attention. Oh, Dancer does look super fun. Like, then again, all of the, like I said before, all the classes look really, really fun. I should probably get around to actually just unlocking everything, because I'm clearly missing a lot of them, and just having them on hand. Or, yeah, having them on hand. To just give them a go at our at leisure. And thankfully a lot of them start at later levels as well, which makes the whole process a lot less painful. Because Dancer starts at 50, doesn't it? Oh no, it starts at 60. You said, oh, yeah. And thank God for that. Because I suppose, like, that's the advantage of those later classes, is that you can start with basically the full kit design, like class kit design, which makes it way more easy to fun. Yeah, I think the other thing is that then you can just, you know, pick what you want to play for the day, do some roulettes here and there. Like, I've got my main class. That's all set up, nice and cool, and then I can just pick what I want to vibe with. All yours, Gravedigger. There we go. There's the shield. Oh yeah, no, you can also Palace of the Dead to level up a lot of those ones as well. Which I think is what I'm, like, starting to do. Because if you Palace of the Dead those early ones, it's like, then you can get to the... what you call it? The leveling roulette quickly, and then that's just... It's just uphill from... or those sayings are very weird. But it's a great time after that. Because isn't Red Mage similar to that, like, melee ranged hybrid, but instead of being physical range, it's just magical ranged? No, I am mildly hysteric. Got some of the loss of control in this. Is pretty hectic. Come on. Well, I'm hysteriaing my way away from the bad man, so that's good at least. I think hysterical me is off. I was about to say I think hysterical me is a bit better at this game than I am. Non-hysterical. At this bloody rate, like, oh, so many mistakes. I'm just gonna claim I'm streaming, can't do it properly. There's this melee with backflip. Oh, that's cool. Just so many good sounding classes. Cool aesthetic. This is just a fun game. Oh, I reckon I'm not going to be able to hit 80 today. I underestimated how much XP was at the end here. But Gravedy, are you down for one more 50, 60, 70 leveling dungeon? Then I might cool it after that one. Then this will be a nice couple of hour long stream. Oh. It's beautiful. Need to start the script writing for the next video. Oh, it's still nice to have some close quarter options. Oh, I absolutely loved Larry Zor's videos. Like that's a level of quality I wish I could only be like. Yeah. You know what? I might do like a 1,000 subscriber 24-hour stream and then do it on Twitch or something. Do one of those sort of mad kind of sub goals, or the face reveal. Gotta do a bit more that classic YouTube incentives kind of deal. But yeah, I want to sort of get a rush on the next script in a way, because the person who helps me edit a lot of them is sort of got a busier week, so I want to sort of get it to her a bit quicker than I normally would. And you want to do a little bit of research, because if you guys coming on the stream, I'll give you the epic pro insider knowledge. I'll be doing the story of Yoshi P, and so the story of Yoshi P, how he transformed 1.0 into 2.0, what A Realm Reborn was like on launch, and then some of the changes that are made ever since then. I want to know how Pint does it. Like, all of his old WoW stuff and all like his new Final Fantasy bits and pieces. Oh my god. That man is an editing monster. Honestly, I would not be surprised if I came to the conclusion that the man had to sacrifice multiple goats to the devil himself to rebuild that game. I mean, maybe that's why, the Battle of Cartano, and he pulled out Bahamut just to sacrifice the Lullafils. But he didn't want to do it in a way that was too obvious. But there are so many creators where I'm like, oh, I wish I could do that. And like, it's a massive learning experience, because they've been doing it for, in some case, like years at that point. I've been doing it since May, and even then, like, you look at my early videos, not the best, not fantastic. Like, they got the point across, but they're definitely as entertaining as I can, or at least I can manage now, is probably the way of putting it. But I mean, that's the fun of any sort of hobby process. Just learning how to do it. So, yeah. Oh, I think the other thing is my voice is also absolutely bloody shot. I don't know what I've been doing. Absolutely bloody gone. I'll admit, I never got what to do in this fight. It was just the click on something and shoot it. Ooh. That wasn't me. The orb in the middle over there was mine, but not the rest of it. Well, I can't remember, like, I would absolutely love to play a 0.1 server just to see what it was like. But highly doubt that's ever gonna happen. Considering it's like, it's the same relative principle. Oh god, this is not gonna be good. Not gonna be good. Nah. Oh. Perfectly timed. Yeah, it's definitely not like WoW where it's just like such a immense difference between all of the like the mod and the old version of the game, which is probably mainly due to the fact that it hasn't been around for as long. But even then, FF seems just so much more consistent than WoW ever was. Oh yeah. No, I definitely know that. As like the last video or the one I released yesterday was about 1.1, and it's basically 10 minutes of going, here's all of the things that weren't very good about it. Which, I mean, yeah, by the looks of things, it was not good. Which is a shame, because so you could actually see a lot of the cool things that are in Final Fantasy XIV, which I really love. Say, like, the Professions is a good example. I absolutely love how Final Fantasy XIV does it with a minigame, but the way they did the minigame back then without much sort of feedback in the same way that we have now, that it's all very, very clear. Oh, that would have been horrific. I like having the numbers in front of me that I can figure it out. Because I think even like at the time, Final Fantasy XI was better than 14, and that was like a 8-year difference between the two. Time off the story, but it's FF15. Wait, were they Sio? Because I thought all the Final Fantasies were all relatively self-contained. But then again, I may have been wrong. Like, I remember playing... The most experience I had with Final Fantasy in the past was Dirge of Cerberus, which was like definitely a part of that sort of edgy phase of everyone's life. But at the same time, it was so much fun. Cyro. Ah, okay. I do apologize. I shall remember it. Yeah, I suppose that's what made Final Fantasy like 1.0 such an impressive flop, was that they had already done better. Just didn't look as good. From Final Fantasy IV, bloody hell. That's an impressive level of callback to have in a game. Because I remember, like I know Magitech's relatively consistent across all their games. Like, there's a lot of consistent themes, but I didn't know there was like straight transitions like that. Oh yeah, that's right. Final Fantasy XI's still around. Like that, the fact that it is wild, because I think it's also getting updated still, which is even crazier. If I remember, there's like a story update next. What you call it? next year. Like, the team for that mustn't be too big. Australian. Oh yeah, Rabbit Nasta. What? Which one was that from? Because I remember hearing it in that name somewhere for the lighthouse. Because the actual design of the lighthouse a bit of an Easter egg reference. Really? Like, the fact that Final Fantasy does all these crossovers is absolutely wonderful. Like, I remember having such a good time in the Final Fantasy 15 one. I really wish I was there for the Nier Automata one. Like, oh my god. It pains me that I wasn't there for that one. Because, like, watching a few videos of that one, super bloody cool. Going through all those, like, Nier fights, but in Final Fantasy mode. On top of the glamour. Can't beat that 2B hairstyle. Oh, we can just leave. Alright. Wait, really? Do you have to go back? Or what are these people doing? What? How do I unlock those things? Because I thought that was a limited time event. Oh yeah, I thought we needed something from those guys. Because like the Nier stuff sounded like it was something that would be a limited time event. Because I know you get like the pet and like a hairstyle for it. Okay, well, I think you may have just extended the stream just a little bit. Because I want to unlock those things. That's dope as hell. The gossipy dwarf in Tomora. Yeah, not Tomora. Yeah, not Tomora. Which is a good old town in Australia. We've got some very, very unique town names. Yeah, I mean, leveling up, that's cool and all. Nier Automata. Oh, it's a long quest chain? Oh. Okay. I reckon then. What do you guys reckon? For next stream, should we go through the entire Nier quest, and then do that? And that's sort of the cool ending thing, or would you want to do a bit more leveling stuff? What would you guys like to see? Get a bit more what you call it? Interaction. Reach FF on a rotation. Like, are there just straight up rotations for it? Because, like, I know there's the world events. But I didn't know if there was, like, consistent ones. Alright. I reckon if you guys are happy to stick around, might do the start of the Nier quest. Well, I think thank God they brought back the Final Fantasy 15 one for take a long time to get through. Yeah, that's fair. Oh, it's a conundrum. It is definitely a conundrum. Alright, I reckon I'll do what I originally planned. Call the stream after we finish this boss here. And then next week, we'll go through the Nier ones. Because if it's a long time, then I reckon being able to just commit the entire stream of going through, getting the Nier raids, going through the Nier raids. I can even then do some of the dialogue stuff, do some of the voice acting, you know, get some of the free ASMR experiences. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't read the dialogue. It's a full. All right, in that if it is a full stream of content, then straight after this stream, I'll like schedule the next one for next Sunday. I might even try and start a bit earlier. Oh, so it is like it's one of the full alliance raids as well. Oh, I'm keen for that. I really like the alliance raids. It's such an interesting sort of raid design concept. Oh. Thank you, horse, of course. Yeah, I'll need to I'll try and announce that one a bit more as well. Get a couple more people in on it. But no, thank you all for telling me that one. I would have kicked myself if I realized all the way through Endwalker that I could have been doing Nier Automata stuff all this time. But yeah, like I sort of mentioned before, that's the fun part about coming into this sort of new game. There's so much to it. Oh, bloody hell. I'm keen to see what the 2B hairstyle looks on. I mean, is it one of the oh, what? Is it like a gender locked one, or is it? Can I embrace the 2B hairstyle? Ah. Well, rip mate. When you say like I've done all the raids up to Bozja, and I've done some of the what you call it? Oh, that's perfect. 100% want to see the 2B hairstyle in this just for the meme. But yeah, I've seen the Bozjan like Battlefront, and I've been there a few times. I might start as early as 12:30 AST. I think I'm at. I'll double check because I'm not. I should know this. Sydney time zone. Yeah, Australian Eastern Daylight Time. So I'm not sure what the translation of that would be. I'm not sure if the scheduling comes up and it shows you at your time. But yeah, I think I'll put a public scheduling that this is what I'm going to be doing. And then sort of go from there and hope for the best. And 100% Gravedigger. Honestly, anyone who's coming in to like who's on the data center and who's available. Yeah, I think it's about 14 plus hours. I'd hope so. I'd really hope that it would do that. So 12:30 AST will be the stream next Sunday. I'll go for as long as I need to go through the near quest line. Get the and the raids. And I reckon that's going to be an absolute ton of fun. There might be some silent moments on stream then. Especially if like their current raids and the scaling isn't as bad. Oh, thank you very much for the stream. For the sub. Absolutely, I always appreciate it. Especially like, I think one of the best things at this like level of content creation is that you can be so much more personal with people. Like if you sort of look at a lot of the content, I've been doing my absolute best to reply to everyone. I think that's sort of part of the fun. I reckon if I ever get to the stage where I'm like it's almost impractical to answer all the comments, that's going to be the point where I'm like, damn, it's a bit of a shame. And yeah, the question is, if I watch some guides on the near raids between now and Sunday, will that ruin the questing experience? Because it might be in my best interest to then look up some guides now so I'm not completely useless. Because I'll probably be doing it on the good old Dark Knight, which is my main. I need to get around to getting a lot more of the like plate sets in the game. So I'm not a full set Andy. Oh, so there are spoilers in the guides. Okay. That's always the concern. That's always the concern. Oh yeah, I heard it was canon near. Like that's insane. It's so bloody cool, but insane. Alright, yeah, I reckon because it's gonna be like, you know, it's going to be a stream. It's going to be like one of the going through the story, talking a bit of dialogue. Because as I sort of lamented earlier, it was like I missed the bandwagon for doing that. I'll be able to get that experience in. All right. Yep. I'm sold. I'll go in blind, and a blind tank always the most fun thing. Oh. Alrighty, I'll even look at seeing about a webcam maybe. Do some experimenting throughout the week. Just to really amp up the reactions. Yeah, thank you everyone for sticking around as long as you have. Thank you Gravedigger especially for coming on, showing off the your glamour and helping with the healing the healing cues. Yeah, I don't think I'll main tank, but probably off tank. Oh, thank you, Future Bet. So, no, I'm going to schedule the next stream for 12:30 AST next Sunday. No, I won't have a choice, and thank God. You know, I'll focus on the ads, and I'm pretty solid. So, you know, there might be some silent moments as I'm going through a lot of the new mechanics, just to make sure I don't bugger it up, especially doing a bit of tanking, because I want to freshen up on my Dark Knight skills before Endwalker. And there goes someone flexing their gill. But yep, I'm going to schedule the stream now. And I hope to see you all next Sunday. Thank you all again for joining me. And I look forward to next week to see you there. Catch you all.